Salute, Knicks Nation. How we doing out here? Salute, salute, salute. The streets are buzzing. Smash that like button. The Knicks pick up a win tonight at the MSG. Go back to 500. We're ready to chop this thing up. Salute, Knicks Nation. How's everybody doing on this beautiful Friday night? Veterans Day. Salute to all the veterans, families out there that have given their service to their country. Salute to you. The Knicks put in a good performance tonight. Detroit made it tough, but the heroes stood up again. Jalen Brunson, Barrett. Salute, Knicks Nation. Salute to the chat. We're going to chop it up tonight. We're going to get into it. We'll give out our grades. We'll look ahead like we always do. And let's get into it. Ready to get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Salute. Salute. How are we all feeling out here? Friday night. The feeling is right. Let's get into it. Salute. Chat. Kaiser Soze. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, fam. Let's get into it. I just want to see a couple games without Randall to see what this team could look like. Yeah. Lots to chop up tonight about that. The offense, man, it did go stagnant. Julius Randle with some moments of frustration again. But the Knicks pulled out the dub tonight, 121 to 112, on the back of the heroics from Jalen Brunson and a great game from Barrett. Randall was solid tonight at times, but yeah, obviously frustration creeps in for me too, fam, when I watch, Julius as well. There is some isolation creeping back in as well, but he had some nice plays as well. Dirty Dancer, let's get into it. All the people trashing RJ in shambles. I will have a lot to say tonight about early season reactions. We've seen a lot of follies early in the season. We've seen a lot of good play, but we're 12 games in, there's been a lot of overreactions, I would say. Me, I try to keep it cool early in the season because I don't want to go out and say nothing crazy, and then 20 games in, something looks completely different, and like the chat, I call it like I see it, basically. On that given night, this team is inconsistent. There's no doubt about it. From night to night. Obviously a lot of players on the Knicks have been consistent this year, but as a team, we've been inconsistent. We're back at 500 again, but nothing surprising. That's where I thought the Knicks would be. Many would think that we would be even worse than where we're at. 6-6. Obviously we got an easy ride against Philly. So that win wasn't a win that I necessarily penciled in, early in the season. But I guess the pleasing thing is the Knicks have taken care of the games that they should have taken care of. They've lost to all the good teams, the teams with the better roster, and we've put the beat down on, teams that we should win. Right? Drew, salute. I'm just frustrated that we win this game because it means that Tibbs saved his job for at least another month. Right? Yeah, there's a lot of talk about Tom Thibodeau this season. It's early, Drew. Yeah, I understand. A lot of fans want Tibbs gone as well. I want the organization to move forward without Tibbs as well. I think it's going to happen. Eventually at some point moving forward. Tibbs ain't the long-term coach for this team, but it's going to take a while. I don't see it happening too early in the season. Maybe in the second half, if things go downhill with the record and everything. But if the Knicks continue to take care of teams that they should beat, Tom Thibodeau will still stay as the coach. I feel, it's until we start losing these kind of games that things are going to change, with the head coach. The offense is most frustrating, with Tibbs as well, and the Knicks' effort defensively has been pretty poor this season, not what I would come to expect from a Tom Thibodeau, coach team. Cash out, salute, fam, what's good? Dirty Dancer, IQ haters bought onto being next with that situation, right? With that, IQ struggling, man. He's definitely in a funk. He's the next Nick that definitely needs to have a big game. Um, this season quickly always usually starts slow, and he finishes the season hot. Tonight he hit a few good shots, a few from deep, timely shots. But yeah, the Brooklyn game was a mess from IQ so far this season. I feel like IQ just forces it. He's hard on himself, and he definitely wants to make the right play, but you can tell that he overthinks it, at times. And the shot mechanics with quickly ain't something that looks great to me. He's always had that push shot. He struggles to get it off in traffic because it's such a low release. Well, IQ loves that separation when he steps back and he puts it up, but the mid range just ain't there for quickly. He can't get separation at the moment, can't get to the cup easily. Quickly just needs to play under control for me, and just not force it. Salute buzzer beater. What's good, fam? We're going to dive into the SGA rumors. Yeah, we could talk about anything you guys want. This is your show. Well, we shout you out. We keep it 100. Healthy Knicks talk. And the streets are buzzing. Pop that like button. And yeah, we also heard some talk, Buzzer, about um, from the Hoops Collective pod, I think it was, with Windhorse talking about, the Knicks, what league wide are expected to just hoard their picks until the next guy becomes available. And there's plenty of names, that will come about sooner rather than later. I think, SGA is a guy that wants to win. He definitely wants to win. He's having an incredible season with that. Tibbs' offensive playbook, no off-ball screens, no pick and roll, just straight ISO. Yeah, not a fan of it as well, Drew. Read and react offense. The thing is, the Knicks don't have great IQ players as well. So the read and react system is good for a lineup with good IQ. The Knicks don't have that kind of talent or IQ at the moment to just freestyle. I think they need a more structured offense, more pick and roll as well. Man, I completely agree. Completely agree with you. But to put things in perspective, ugly loss against Brooklyn. I was shocked by that loss in terms of the effort. I really thought the Knicks were had an excellent chance to win that game, but I feel like the Knicks just came out feeling themselves after a big win in Mini, and Brooklyn had their new head coach, and they came out and they wanted it more than the Knicks. I don't think it was a matter of talent that night. I just think the Knicks came out slow, lethargic. They weren't given effort, and of course tonight it was a must win. They had to bounce back, and they did so. I'm happy that the Pistons gave the Knicks a bit of a challenge. They pushed it because I don't want this team to start feeling themselves again, ever again. Basically, I don't want them to think that they're going to go into any game and think it's going to be a cakewalk, because we've seen what happens with this team. We don't have the talent to just sit back and relax and expect that we're going to breeze to any win, right? We need to come out and play hard all 82 games, to make up for, some talent deficiency on this team. And I'm glad, the Pistons are coming. They're a team of the future. They've got some great young pieces. Tonight, Cade Cunningham didn't even play as well, so you got to take that into account as well. It was a home game for the Knicks. They should have felt comfortable. To be honest with you, the team should have put the Pistons away earlier. There's no doubt about it. The Knicks shouldn't have let the Pistons hang and linger. I know they got lots of talent, young talent up in there, but yeah, I felt like the Knicks should have put Detroit away earlier. But it is what it is. We grinded it out. We're better for the challenge. I think. I don't want the Knicks to be blowing teams out all the time, because yeah, they need to keep things in perspective, and know that we need to play hard, because that Brooklyn game was a huge letdown, absolute huge letdown. And with that, but tonight was a good bounce back to 500, exactly where I thought this team would be right now. And, it certainly ain't a bad position to be in terms of some young players showing some more improvement. We'll talk about RJ Barrett's game, 30 piece tonight. RJ Barrett's looked really, really comfortable over the last 4 or 5 games now. The shot's fallen. Um, he's doing some other things on the court, which you have to be pleased about. I love the fact that he took upon the mismatch. You know, he went down low, went to the cup, backed his man down, all of those great things. You know, when RJ Barrett's not just jump shooting, that's when he's most devastating for me. You know, RJ Barrett can devastate a smaller opponent, and that's what he did tonight. So, most pleasing aspect of tonight was RJ Barrett. Even though I think Jalen Brunson takes the game ball down the stretch, Jalen Brunson um, willed the Knicks to this victory. You know, it got tight. It got within 6 to 4 points. I mean, things was rocking at MSG on Veterans Day again. Salute all the veterans and the families out there that have given their service to their country. It was also Kith night. You see the kit, City Edition as well. Shout out to everyone in the building getting some love out there, getting some merch as well. Some hot pieces out there, hot drip as well. So that was nice. It was rocking Friday night Knicks MSG, and of course the Knicks pulled off the dub, and we play OKC next coming up, and we'll look ahead definitely to the next 10 games at the back end of this show, but we'll give out our grades. We'll shout out the chat as well. Big night for RJ Barrett, big night for Jalen Brunson, solid night for Randall as well. And we'll talk about the rotation a bit moving forward. Hartenstein got the start tonight, back into the starting unit. Cam Reddish also kept his starting spot. And Quentin Grimes is healthy again. So that's a great sign moving ahead. Quentin Grimes was situational heading in, but he got some meaningful minutes as well. I like some of the things that I saw from Quentin Grimes as well. So salute chat. Michael Fodes, salute. Yeah, nice kit. Really nice, fam. Yep. Definitely got to cop some of this, man. I feel good and bad when the Knicks keep dropping great drip, because it means more items I got to pick up. Yep. Yep. Salute, Will. Let's get it. Salute. Yep. Salute. Tariq, what's good? What's good, fam? How you feeling? Yep, the Nets backed out of Udoka situation. Yep, I think they made the right decision with that. Tariq says Rose still good. Yep, stop looking foolish with bad takes. That situation. Rose ain't washed. Yeah, I think Tibbs is just keeping him on ice for the moment, trying to promote quickly into a bigger role. And we'll talk about quick as well. But yes, salute to the chat. Let's get into it. Let's give out some grades, shall we, tonight? Appreciate everyone rocking. Yep, let's get into it. Let's get into the grades. The starting unit tonight showed up. You see all 5 starters in the positive as well. The Knicks pretty much led wire to wire, so you kind of expect that. But let's start off with RJ Barrett performance tonight. 38 minutes, 10 of 17, 3 of 8 from three-point land, 7 of 8 from the line. Love to see it from RJ Barrett. Great stat line tonight. Was in a groove, picked up 5 rebounds and 5 assists. So dishing and swishing tonight. RJ Barrett stand up, and it's just 1 turnover, which is quite notable. You know, 38 minutes, just 1 turnover for RJ Barrett, and was a plus 11 30 piece for RJ Barrett. I believe his first 30 piece of the season in his 12th game. So beautiful to see RJ Barrett. Like I said, about the last 4 or 5 games, I sort of feel like it's starting to click for RJ now. Salute Quiet Money. How you feeling out here, man? The Knicks pick up the win, go 500. But the first grade for tonight is RJ Barrett. His first 30 piece. I mean, 5 assists, shot efficiently, was finishing at the rim. And that's another thing. The finishing's getting a lot better at the hoop. You know, I gotta pull up his percentages at the hoop over the last like 4 or 5 games. I think it's definitely a huge increase over the first 5 games of the season. And RJ Barrett starting to take on more ball handling duties, secondary action, coming off the curl. The catch and shoot's been going down. The 3-point shots, critical for RJ. It opens up our offense, so much. But I've always been hard on RJ with the assists, and tonight he made me proud. Made me proud tonight with 5 assists as well. Some really good looks, getting guys involved, playing unselfish as well, and not forcing it as well. And there are times when I like RJ forcing it, and a lot of those times was tonight when he had a smaller man on him. Again, he took the challenge to back his man down, the little hop step in the paint, the little floater game as well. Drawing critical fouls at critical times was RJ tonight. Again, getting to the line and finishing strong. Again, another big improvement tonight. 7 of 8 from the line for RJ Barrett. So, yeah, great performance all around. RJ Barrett's got to get an A for me tonight, man. Stand up, Broadway Barrett. First A for the night goes to RJ, and it's just a trend I'm starting to see. Him pick things up. Obviously, the Brooklyn game didn't have a great night, but the games before that, kick started his season. I feel like he starts slow. He's starting to heat up, no doubt about it. Yeah, got to see some more consistency moving forward. But yeah, if RJ Barrett can continue shooting efficiently like this from the line and from deep, it's just great things for this New York Knicks offense moving forward as well. And again, the 30 piece, it's got to feel so satisfying, man. So RJ Barrett got us all buzzing as well. Chat, give out your grade for RJ tonight. And what are you seeing from him over the last couple of games, changing up as well? 19 comments, salute. Haven't seen this type of RJ versus real comp at times. Yeah, that's what we want to see. Yeah, consistency. Yep, 100% with that. Easy A, facts, sturdy. Yep, definitely. An all-round game. Not just talking about his shooting, the fact that he's finishing and assisting now as well. Yeah, I think the swing skill for RJ definitely is the finishing at the rim, the handles, and the shooting. Um, for me, his handle just still looks really high. Um, if RJ Barrett can tighten his handle, I feel like that's what's going to help him go to that next level, the ball handling, because he is dangerous when he gets through traffic. He can get into the paint. He's long, he's big, he can finish over the top of guys. When he tends to try to bully into players is where he starts to not finish in traffic and things like that. But if he just sort of pulls up into the paint, rises up, and shoots over guys like a Butler and a DeRozan can do, I think that's what's going to help RJ Barrett a lot. It's when he tends to barrel into traffic is when he tends to get into a bit of strife with that. So yeah, Kaiser salute, Barrett A. We need to see this RJ versus the good teams. Yep, definitely. Um, and we'll talk about that in terms of the offense tonight. The read and react offense with Tom Thibodeau is a key contributor, in my opinion, to why players are inconsistent as well, because players don't know where they're going to get their looks at any particular time. Players struggle getting in rhythms and things like that. This offense is very freestyle, which can be good and bad. And I feel like players do get cold at times. Yeah, they don't know when they're going to get their shots and things like that because it's purely read and react. I think if this offense had a lot more structure to it, we might see more consistent performances, yeah, from RJ. So we got A's across the board from the chat. Yep, salute. Again, yeah, poor opponent, you know. No Cade Cunningham, which is interesting, but yeah, you got to evaluate who you're playing against. And RJ Barrett stood up at least, If RJ Barrett doesn't stand up, the Knicks probably don't win the game tonight, which says a whole lot about everybody else. I mean, Brunson pulled his weight, and we're going to give out the rest of the grades. But yeah, if RJ Barrett doesn't stand up, this game could get dicey. And it's all about incremental improvements, chat, fam, streets, moving ahead into this season. We're only 12 games in. And so players picking up confidence, getting into a groove could allow him to go to that next level. And of course, when he sees the ball go through the net from the free throw line and for the 3-point land as well. We know how RJ Barrett can get hot real quick as well when his confidence is up and he's flowing. Fam, yep. Yeah, 19 facts. We needed this kind of RJ to step up. Yep. Amani Bates talking about that situation. Kaiser, high reward for risk with that. Yeah, well, it's going to be crazy. At the moment, I did peep during the week. Currently, the Knicks have 3 picks in the top 20, which is insane right now. But yeah, we're chopping up the Knicks' big win, and no doubt the talk about the draft will get plenty of buzz moving ahead. But let's step up now and give Jalen Brunson his grade. You know, it might be another easy one. 32 minutes was 8 of 16, 2 of 5 from 3, 6 of 8 from the line, 1 defensive rebound, 7 assists, 7 dimes for Jalen Brunson, 4 steals. Incredible. 4 steals, 3 personal fouls was a +5 and a 28 points for Jalen Brunson. Guess what his grade is? Another A. Another straight A for Jalen Brunson. There's been 12 games, and I'm sure I've given about 6 A's for Brunson, 6 or more A's. So, I mean, he's doing his thing, worth every penny we're paying him. There was a lot of talk after the Brooklyn loss, of course, and that's leadership from Brunson. You know, he called some dudes out. You know, he himself didn't play well against Brooklyn. They shut him down. So it's great to see Brunson bounce back tonight at MSG. Salute to him. You could just tell he's a gamer. He's a baller. He loves playing at MSG, the big spotlight. He's going to lead us to a lot of victories this season, a lot of victories. And that's why I still feel this team is a real 500 team. They're not going to fall below too many games below 500 this season, right? We might lose 2, bounce back and win 1, lose 1, win 2, lose 1, win 1. And a lot of that is because of Jalen Brunson this season, right? The roster is vastly improved from last season as well. When you got a guy like him that can get 7 to 10 assists on any night, can put up 28, 30 points in his sleep, can penetrate. He's this engine for this team, right? The team's engine is Jalen Brunson. We saw what happened with Brooklyn. They shut him down, picked him up full court, and it slowed our offense down as well. So I really feel like Jalen Brunson's our engine. Salute Geraldine. Salute. How you feeling, fam, out here? The Thompson twins looking great as well. Yep. Yep. A lot of buzz on the Thompson twins with that situation. But yeah, Jalen Brunson tonight, I mean, he was just everywhere, dropping timely buckets as well. And I'm pleased to see it because remember, I've been saying when the Knicks struggle offensively and they need a bucket, I want the ball in Jalen Brunson's hands, not Derrick Rose, not Randall, not Barrett. I prefer it in Jalen Brunson's hands. He's this team's best isolation player tonight. He proved it as well. Led us to the victory, and it's another solid A for JB. Stand up. Definitely been this team's MVP for this season, right? And are worth every dollar with that. Now let's get into Julius Randle, right? 33 minutes, shared the court with Obi again. Minutes are down this season for Randle, so I'm pleased with that situation. Didn't shoot very efficiently tonight. Was Randle 8 of 18 and have missed all 7 3-pointers as well. So we're seeing the Randle 3-point game up and down. He was smoking hot in Minnesota and came back down to earth in Brooklyn. And tonight again, 0 of 7 as well. But he shot 5 of 5 from the line and 4 offensive rebounds. Okay, Julius, I see you. 4 offensive rebounds, 8 total, 5 assists as well. So, Julius, I want to see some of that. 2 turnovers only, was a +13 and 21 minutes with 5 personal fouls. So Julius was amongst it tonight. I thought he pulled down some critical rebounds. He battled in the paint when the Knicks went small ball as well. The shot wasn't falling, but Randall was doing other things tonight as well. I've got to give Randall a B plus for tonight. Frustrating at times, again, holding the ball up a little too long for my liking, but solid game again, stat wise 21 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. Yeah, solid B plus. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of up and downs, Dirty, with the 3-point shooting. Um, and you guys may have noticed too, when Randall's wide open, those are the ones that he generally doesn't hit. Um, if a player is contesting a little, closing out, it seems like Randall hits those a lot more as well. The wide open ones, he struggles as well. But I'll take it tonight, B plus, even though he shot 0 of 7 from 3. Definitely battled as well. Not his best game, but he battled tonight. We needed him and his points. Um, Randall's biggest issue and always has been the defensive and his effort. He does take plays off. He doesn't have that kind of motor to give, full intensive effort on the defensive side of things. And I feel like that's what frustrates fans the most, with Randall, from what I'm seeing. He definitely loses his man quite a lot. His head's not always in the game, but it is what it is. That this is the Randall for 7-8 years of his career now, and this is the kind of Randall that we'll get, from nights to night. Basically, I've always wanted him to be a willing ball mover as well. Limit this isolation, make quick decisions, push the ball up quicker, and that's the kind of best version of Julius that we can hope for. Moving on, right? Obviously, his future. Who really knows what it holds for Julius? But I'm glad him and Obi are sharing some minutes together. It's still early in the season, so Julius this season, right? He's much improved from last season. However, his future's still cloudy with this team, right? I feel like it's still cloudy with the Obi situation. Kaiser says Randall needs to be moved on from. I know the podcast is trying to be nice about it, but he's been here long enough for us to know that he ain't it, right? Yeah, the biggest thing for me is his fit. Moving forward, there are a lot of teams out there that could use a player like Randall. A lot of years left on his deal still. You know, the biggest issue with his deal is the length of it for the Knicks, not necessarily the dollar amount. For the the numbers Randall puts up, I'm okay with the salary aspect of it. It's just the years on it, the deal, the length, and of course the fit. You know, with Obi here as well, I'd much prefer this team to move forward with Obi as well. But while we've got this Randall, we need to see nights like tonight as well, consistency and moving the rock, right? Yep. So Julius Randle gets a B plus. Now let's talk about Cam. 18 minutes, 2 of 6 from the field, missed all 3 threes, was 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 foul, plus 7, 4 points. So Reddish is getting the start. Quentin Grimes will probably take over, I feel. He's situational, still getting acclimated, getting conditioned, and of course, getting healthy from that foot. But Cam Reddish is still playing a role with this situation. I like when he attacks the closeout, the drive. Cam Reddish's shot is more concerning for me. His shot ain't great. It's flat. I'm okay with him shooting the wide open shots as well, but I would prefer most of Cam's looks to come from the cup. That's his strength. Get to the cup, attack the closeout, all of that. I thought his shot selection was much better tonight. He didn't force it as much. What did he get? 6 shots up in 18 minutes. That's about what I could live with Cam. That nice scoop finish at the cup, that was nice. They're the kind of plays that I want to see Reddish play to his strengths, on offense. And of course, defensively, Cam's got to get in passing lanes. He's got to get disruptive, pick guys up, and definitely our defense has picked up. I think with Cam in the starting five, um, he still has lapses. He's by no means a good defender, but he's more helpful in terms of using his length, his tools, to be disruptive, get in passing lanes, all of that. And I think he's getting the kind of minutes that's about fair, for Cam, 18 to 25 minutes between there at the moment. The biggest question mark is how many minutes is he going to get when Quentin Grimes gets healthy? What do you guys think about that? There's no doubt in my mind that the preference of this organization is Quentin Grimes moving forward. Yeah, maybe they take Fournier out completely, or maybe they limit his minutes even more, or maybe Cam Reddish, becomes the situational one. Either way, I would not be surprised if this organization acts quickly to try to find a move for either Cam or Fournier, because it's going to be very awkward having Fournier getting paid what he's getting paid if he's out of the rotation. And at the same time, it's hard to make Cam starting and then completely out of the rotation as well. So Quentin Grimes is healthy now, touch wood. He doesn't wake up and feel soreness again. But we could go to another level when Quentin Grimes gets in the starting unit. Tonight, he had some positive looks. I love his dribble drive game, his Grimes. He's got to settle down on these pull ups a bit. He's got ultimate confidence rising up as well. Obviously, when he gets more in a rhythm, Quentin Grimes' shot should start falling more consistently. He's playing very sporadic minutes right now. But yeah, when Grimes gets into a groove, when he's healthy, and when he's settled in to this rotation, I think we're going to see the best of this team. Best of this team moving forward, more consistency. I think Grimes has better IQ than Cam. Defensively, better positioning, better at shutting down penetration, and of course, I think Grimes is a better playmaker than Cam as well. Grimes is a very, very willing passer up in this thing, and that's what I love, about his game. He's just more all round with that. Yeah, Buzzer says, what happened with the tampering punishment? It's still ongoing, Buzzer. Still ongoing. No result yet. Last we heard is the league is still looking into it. Yeah. My honest prediction is that the Knicks maybe lose a second round pick, just like the Atlanta did. I think it was Philly. It was Philly that lost, I think, a second rounder or a couple of second rounders. Yeah, with that. Yeah, so Cam tonight, he gets a C plus for me, C plus, B minus. Cam Reddish, playing his role. Stats don't jump out, but he was in the positive, 4 points in 18 minutes as well. There is a lot of talk that Cam's not getting enough shots, or he's getting frozen out a bit. It may well be true at times, but I don't feel like it's intentional. I think I look at this starting unit and I see a Barrett, a Brunson, and a Julius, and there are a lot of guys that need usage and shots. That every starting unit has a hierarchy. In terms of who's gonna get the shots in the offense. And Cam Reddish is fourth in that. So like, go around every single team in the league, and how many shots does the fourth option get on offense? Not a lot. You know, 6 to 8 to 10 shots a game, really. If you're the fourth guy on offense, you're not expected to get that many shots, you know. And with Barrett, Brunson, and Randall, they're going to get most of your shots. That's just the way the NBA goes, the hierarchy of that. So, yeah, at times they may look him off, kind of thing, if he's open. I think guys are trying to force it at times. But I think on average, the fourth option on offense, Cam is getting about the level of shots that he, would normally get, that the fourth option gets, right? Yeah, Will, with that situation, the NBA scratching their heads what to do with us, right? Daddy Brunson makes it very, very grey with that situation. Yeah. Yeah, with that said, I think they're just taking their time. with that. There's no rush with that situation. And again, nothing's changed on my end. I'm not worried about that at all, fam. So yeah, C plus B minus for Reddish as well. The starters were solid again tonight. Hartenstein got the start, 33 minutes, 3 of 5 from the field, super efficient. Um, Rebounded extraordinarily well for Hartenstein. For all the knocks that he's struggling with rebounding, to pull in 5 offensive boards, 7 defensive, 12 total, and a block as well. He's averaging about a block a game now. 3 turnovers, 5 fouls, +9, 6 points. Well, I'll give Hartenstein a solid B minus for tonight. Really, really needed his rebounding. 33 minutes. He was active like he usually is. A block as well, having to battle Stewart and the bigs, down there as well. Sims didn't really have it going tonight, so we needed Hartenstein to step up, and step up he did as well. So solid. Isaiah again, salute to you. Great pickup so far as well for this very reason. I mean, hand on our hearts, most people would have thought that Mitchell Robinson ain't playing 82 games, right? We knew that kind of coming in. So that's what made the Hartenstein signing so big for this team. A guy that can step in, give us starting minutes, and produce as well. Be healthy and be available, not like Nerlens Noel as well. So, yeah, by no means he's not perfect. Isaiah, you know, there was a lot of talk. He's a real stretch five, and he's not really shooting the three ball anymore. He can pull his man out, um, but I'm loving what I'm seeing from the other sides of his game. Screens, putbacks, tips, um, getting active, getting down low, battling the paint, loose balls, all of that, just leaving it out there, man. That's what the Knicks need, a hustler, right? He's a throwback old school hustler. Is Isaiah Hartenstein, you're going to end up with a few scratches, bruises, and cuts, when you go up against that kind of guy. Um, he's trying to make up for all the lack of talent deficiency he has, and you got to salute to him. He hustles. He hustles. Yeah. Killer dog, salute. Great point, fam. I was really hyped to see Grimes out there, even for a few minutes, getting his conditioning back in, right? Absolutely, fam. Yep. To me, I'll be really shocked if he's not our starting wing, in time. Whenever he's healthy, at some point this season, I feel like their preference is Quentin Grimes. Absolutely. The conditioning is the big thing. And of course, hopefully the foot ain't serious, long term. Hopefully it's no serious plantar fascia, and it's just, game to game, and it's just being managed right. And he gets right, and he comes in, man. He can contribute on both sides of the floor. Um, the shot's going to come along, and I think he's super smart IQ wise on the defensive side, passing lanes. He can shut off the drive penetration. We saw it tonight. He cut off a couple of drives as well. He was super confident rising up in his short minutes as well. We'll give Quentin Grimes his grade, but yeah, man, great point. I just hope it ain't a situation where he's in and he's out, he's in and he's out. Like that would suck. Um, but it does look like he's getting healthy now. Does look like he's getting healthy, and they definitely threw him out there, to get some feet wet, get his conditioning in and all of that good stuff. So yeah, that was the starting five. Um, Isaiah, I gave him a B minus, and now for the bench, right? So the bench was up and down tonight, but Obi Toppin, we've got to start with him. Well, getting more minutes now. Another game plus 20 minutes, 22 tonight, was 3 of 9, 2 of 7 from three, 5 boards, which is solid in 22 minutes, assist and a steal and a block, a turnover, 2 fouls, -5, 6 points. Was that 8 points? 8 points for Obi tonight. So salute again. Obi's 3-point ball was timely at times. I love the one when he ran to the corner around the curl and he popped it as well. He's got all the confidence in the world now, does Obi. to shoot that thing, letting it fly. And to think to get 7 attempts in just 22 minutes. Tom Thibodeau is really allowing Obi to get the shot up as well. Whenever he's open, he's at the point now where he shoot that thing. So wasn't super efficient tonight, but Obi Toppin's 3-ball at times was really timely, getting us extending the lead and all of that good stuff. And you love to see things like a steal, a block, an assist, all of that. But the biggest thing is you love to see him share the floor with Randall now. This is the ultimate opportunity now, an excuse with Mitch out. We may not get this kind of situation too often with Mitch out, and we got to see what these two look like together with Randall and Obi up in this situation. And I'm glad we're seeing it now. The offense has definitely kicked in a gear in terms of playing faster up in here, up and down, different things. He's still trying to get out on the break, leak out. But I love that mid-range fadeaway, that pull-up off the bounce, man. Even Mike Breen got super hyped. Right? Every game we see a little flash from Obi where it's like, wow, like we haven't seen that yet, or we want to see more of that. Tonight it was that dribble, pull-up, that mid-range, and it was swish, nothing but net. So that was nice. Obi definitely got the touch. He got great touch for a big man. Got good touch around the bucket, and he's got a nice mechanic, a nice shot, a jump shot mechanics as well. The pull up when his feet set, all of that. One of my favorite moves from Obi is the fake dribble handoff, and then he just cuts to the bucket as well, draws the foul or finishes as well. So yeah, Obi super important to this team moving ahead. Happy that he's getting above 20 minutes now. Let him continue to get into a groove, get comfortable, and continue to pop the 3-ball. And he's a big piece of this thing, right? He's taken over that bench spark that Quickly was, basically. I mean, where would this team be right now without Obi this season, right? Our bench would be pretty mediocre if we're being real. Yeah, with that said, yeah, Obi stand up. I'll give him a solid B- tonight with Obi, just because of the shot wasn't fallen. Now, Jericho got the start last game, then back to the bench. 8 minutes, 1 of 1, 4 rebounds, 4 fouls, a turnover, a block, but +1, 2 points. Jericho didn't really have it going tonight. Very limited minutes tonight. Isaiah was battling, but of course because of Obi and Randall getting minutes together, Sims was down. Tonight, 8 minutes. Basically, I'll give Sims a C today. A C, not really needed tonight, I would say. He is that kind of guy that's basically just filling in now because Mitch is out. He's having his moments on certain times. There's definitely some issues with rebounding, some lapses in concentration and things like that. But he's a young player still learning. Tom Thibodeau is going to be on him. He's going to be coaching him up. And these are really valuable developmental minutes, from Jericho. I'm not really judging him any harshly or looking for him to contribute to winning and taking over games and anything like that. These are just really important minutes, in his development, right now. He sets good screens. He can defend the perimeter as well. His shot blocking's definitely improved with that situation. Another block tonight with his hops as well. So yeah, he gets a C- or C, does Jericho tonight. Now Derrick Rose, 16 minutes, 2 of 7, missed his lone 3-pointer, 4 from the line, which is good to see Rose get to the line. 2 assists, a turnover, and a foul, +4, 8 points for D Rose. So keeping him healthy, keeping him fresh. A different kind of D Rose that we're seeing now. We're not fully reliant on him to win us games or anything like that. In terms of what's going on with him, his role, I think, it's been decided that they're going to give Quickly a bigger chance, to take on that lead guard role off the bench, right? We heard rumblings, in the off season from Ian Begley that Quickly's role would be, improved. And the first thing that came to my mind was Derrick Rose. Somebody's role, has to get limited if that's to happen. So I'm good with it, for this organization. Start rocking with the youth, rely less on D Rose. He's still a valuable piece off the bench. He's definitely going to try to win us some games at certain times if others haven't got it going. But I'm loving the fact that we're keeping him fresh 16 minutes, keeping it low, down low as well. The best thing for this team is a healthy D Rose, right? Whether he's playing well, not playing much, as long as he's healthy with this situation, it gives us options, right? So yeah, let's get it with that. Um, another big storyline so far this season, and something that we didn't quite see coming. But having said that, it makes sense, because Emmanuel Quickly is in a contract situation soon next season, is extension eligible. So this is a case of the organization maybe finally prioritizing what's to come rather than what we've seen, in the past with Derrick Rose. Jet Life, salute. Let's go. Knicks back to 500, chopping this thing up, giving out grades as well. With this win, it wasn't necessarily, a huge win, but we took care of business. You've got to be pleased with that. The Knicks put away teams that they should put away. They scrapped, they clawed Detroit. They got some young talent, that's for sure. And the Knicks stood up, got the dub, and it's on to the next now, on to OKC, and then the West Coast trip, which I just cannot wait to see what kind of Knicks team we get on the road. Now, D Rose, I'll give him tonight. The grade I'll give D Rose is a solid B tonight. In the plus, hit all of his free throws, 8 points, nice spark off the bench with that situation, helping us out in his limited minutes. Now, Evan Fournier continues to have a reduced role now. Struggled tonight, 12 minutes, was 0 of 5 from the field and missed all 3 threes. Hit 3 from the line, got 2 rebounds, an assist, a turnover, -2, 3 points. I mean, what a big change over a short period of time for Evan. Basically, his role is basically reduced now. With Grimes especially healthy, he could be the dude that loses even more minutes. If Cam continues to stay in this rotation, you would have to think Evans out basically. Now, maybe the coaching staff and organization use this opportunity to bring Grimes along slow, just to avoid having to make a real tough decision with that. So maybe for 5 more games, they keep Grimes's minutes under 12 minutes, 15 minutes, maybe for the next 5 games. And then they take a longer look at Cam and Fournier to see if Fournier gets out of this funk, because definitely his confidence has been hurt and he's in a bit of a funk. He's not giving us anything defensively and not giving us anything offensively whatsoever. So that's a situation that bears watching for me, on red alert with that situation in terms of where we go to from here, and Fournier will get a D tonight, a D minus, in fact, with that situation, a D minus. So Quickly, 21 points, 21 minutes tonight, 3 of 6 from the field, hit 2 of 3, finally getting some 3 balls to drop, and 5 rebounds. You love seeing that in limited minutes. An assist, 2 steals, 4 fouls, +2, 8 points for IQ. So great to see his shot drop with that situation, right? So with Quickly, he's going to burst out of that funk at some point. You have to think. My concerns with IQ long term, I guess, is his, game is quite one dimensional at the moment. He's still trying to improve as a player in this league. He's just got to play to his strengths, play under control, try to rack up 5, 6, 7 assists, you know, score 10 points, just play a role. Right now, he's like a guy that is rushing it, rushing it at times, forcing it, and the shot mechanics is it's a really flat looking sort of push shot for me. He's not able to get that off, in the mid range because guys usually block it, and IQ needs a step of space usually to get that 3-point shot off, right? You guys know what it is. It's that IQ push shot situation, and that's the concern for me. He's not a guy that can fade away. He's not a guy that can rise up mid range and get that off as well. So it's basically a pull up three, or it's a dribble drive floater or scoop layup as well. But with that said, quickly can become very effective if he tries to flesh out the rest of his game, and that's to make passes, get guys involved tonight, right? One assist, like is kind of that guard, 21 minutes off the bench. I want to see IQ with more than one assist, you know, with that situation, right? What are your thoughts on that? B. Willis, salute in the house, salute. What's good? Pudge, nice, salute. How are we feeling out here, right? David, let's go Knicks, right? Back at 500. Moving ahead, some tough games coming up. But the Knicks took care of business tonight, and I'm happy about it. Realistic expectations now for this situation. The Knicks have absolutely been the quintessential 500 team, taking care of biz against teams they should beat and losing to all the better teams with better rosters and records as well. With that said, if the Knicks are to shoot above 500, it's going to have to be a team effort and consistency, and it's going to have to be a situation where we put forth 48 minutes of effort, to make up for this team's talent deficiencies, and inconsistencies, right? We could become that gritty team that just scratches and claws and is just a pain to deal with. But the issue is sometimes we start to feel ourselves. You notice we come into games like the Brooklyn one, we're coasting. We can't do that. We're not a team that has that kind of talent to coast. So we need to come out, scratch, claw, play gritty D, get up in dudes, all of that stuff, right? And I want Tom Thibodeau to lead by example. And if a dude ain't putting forth effort, bench him. Basically, I think we need to bench whoever's not putting effort on any night, right? That Brooklyn game, I would have cleared the bench earlier. With that said, right? If that happens again, clear the bench, right? Let Deuce McBride, Svi Mackay, look, Quentin Grimes, Jericho Sims, and Cam or Quickly or someone like that finish the game out. I mean, I don't really care. Wins and losses, aren't the biggest thing for me this season, right? It's setting the tone, setting the example for this situation, right? Yep. Pudge, I agree with you with that situation. Fournier's future is definitely coming to an end with that situation, right? There's no doubt about it. I mean, 12 minutes again, he looks shook, in every sense of the word. Evan Fournier is a bit shook at the moment. He is in a situation where um, he knows his spot's been taken. What a turn of events. To go from starting to like 11 or 12 minutes. You can't even hit a damn shot now. 0 of 5 and 0 of 3. Got to the free throw line and made a really nice couple plays. That drive to kick to Obi as well for the 3 ball was a nice play. Which gave him a D minus with that. Otherwise, I would have given him an F with that. Salute Core Mega. Salute fam. How we feeling out here? In terms of like Pudge says about the trades, this season's going to be crazy. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on this front office, fam, and it's going to be a killer trade deadline. Best believe that. There's going to be a lot of talk, a lot of buzz, and all of that situation. We've got the Evans situation that's going to get resolved. And I think the Obi Randall thing, it may not happen this season, but there's definitely going to be a lot of talk heading into the trade deadline. with that situation, who knows how much longer Mitch, is going to be out. We know evaluated in 7 to 10 days is Mitch. So with that said, Obi and Randall could get more minutes together, and I feel like they're definitely feeling that out. They're trying to get a closer look at that. The fact that they put Hartenstein back in the starting unit tells me that they wanted to go small, with the second unit with that situation. Yep. Pudge agrees. Yeah, B. Willis says we need the bench to produce every night and build their confidence up so they can help this team and build up their stock. Yep. The young guys need to step up, right? Absolutely. Consistency is key. What we're finding with this 500 team is that we're inconsistent. We're up and we're down, different players on any given night. But I'll stick by what I said earlier in the show, and I think our offense and our structure with Tom Thibodeau has a lot to do with that. So I'm not just putting it on these players for their inconsistency. A part of it is their schemes, and the coach situation because of this offense. It's a lot of freestyling, read and react, freewheeling, and all of that good stuff. So we don't have the players that suit that. A lot of players love to put their head down and tunnel vision at times with Barrett, Randall, quickly, in that situation, right? You need really unselfish ballers to play that read and react system. And it's also tougher for players to get into a rhythm with that situation, right? There's hardly any structure to the offense in terms of pick and roll and them knowing where their shots are going to come, how many shots are they going to get, all of that. So, yeah, our offense can get real hot when we're in rhythm, and they can also go freezing cold at times. And that's what we're seeing. We got up 23 points to Atlanta, then we went freezing cold. We was up 9 against Cleveland, and obviously defensively we let Kevin Love go off. But yeah, there's been many games this season where the Knicks have just gone cold offensively and just went like 6, 7, 8 possessions with bad shots, bad sets, ill-advised shots and things like that as well. But the isolation of Julius Randle has been better this season than it has been last season, but it's still not ideal. I still want Randle to make snappier decisions, quicker with that. And players don't cut enough as well. So that's not just on him. But yeah, when Randle's backing down, right, there's so much attention on him, right? A dude should just cut to the hoop, right? And if Julius misses him, that's on him. But I think a lot of players are just standing around, right? So our offense is pretty bad with that situation. We needed hero ball essentially to win tonight, right? I'm just calling it like I see it. Jalen, Brunson, RJ Barrett. We needed them to take over to win us a game against Detroit. So exactly like the chat's been saying, absolutely on point. We need to see this better against better teams. Simply put, yeah, we could take care of bad teams, but we need to see this kind of performance against good teams, right? Yeah, for 48 minutes. And that means also playing with effort and energy to make up for the lack of talent, right? JJ in the house, salute. Good news is we have 3 top 20 picks, my friend. I hear you on that. In the talented upcoming draft as of tonight. And at least we're not the Lakers, who are likely going to hand the Pelicans a top 5 pick, right? Maybe Scoot Henderson. Can you imagine that? Yeah. With that said, yeah. Now that puts things in perspective as well. We get on here and we chop up the team's performance because I'm really invested in the youth and them improving from within. But for me, this season wasn't really about wins and losses. We kind of know where we're going to be. Unless we pull off some blockbuster, we're going to be 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe 6 if we get hot, that kind of area. And we ultimately know where this season's going, but it's about development and young players improving, and also what's at the end of the tunnel, which is the draft. with that situation. Now, before we look ahead, after we've given out these grades now, before we look ahead, let's talk about some news that was come through during the week. It was nothing new that we haven't heard, but talk around the league is that the Knicks are hoarding their picks basically to make that big splash, right? Buzzer Beater talked about SGA. He's one of many names. A disgruntled dude that could become available. Now, what are your thoughts on that, chat? No doubt we have all these picks, and I think this front offices haven't pulled out their last ditch move yet. I think before they go down fired or swinging, I think this team is definitely going to look at trading these picks. Love the jerseys too. Pretty nice facts, right? As we pull it up again. Yep. We see them hanging in the locker room, man. Nice kit, this one. But yeah, with this situation, yeah, I agree. I want no parts of AD, right? Yeah, there's talk that the Lakers aren't looking at trading him either. But yeah, SGA coming into the Garden now, right? My thoughts are, I think he's eyeing Toronto. I think that's his preferred situation, right? SGA knows he could make Toronto seriously, seriously good up in there, and they got the pieces to trade as well. What are your thoughts on his fit in Toronto with that? But with that said, the Knicks have these picks, right? And I said this front office is going to go down swinging, right? They missed out on Spider. There's a move to be made with these picks. Eventually, if it's not this year, it's in the summer or it's next season. But I think within the next 1 to 2 years, this front office is definitely gonna go all in on something. And the fact is, we've still got so many picks that we don't necessarily need to trade all of them. I think our cupboards could still be full if we can find the right trade. A couple of unprotecteds, maybe a couple of swaps, and some young pieces. Could be enough to get something done. But you got a foundation here. You got Jalen Brunson, still 26 years old, coming into his prime, not even yet. Definitely, I think that's what this front office's plan is. Fam, chat, streets are buzzing. Smash that like button. I think Jalen Brunson in here is a core piece. I think a couple of the young players, RJ, Mitch, whether it's Obi or Quickly, and that are still around. Quentin Grimes is a big part of this team's future as well. But for the right trade, I think we've got the right blend of young players, picks, swaps, and veterans to make this deal done. And the whole league knows it. We heard from the podcast, I think it was ESPN Hoops Collective. I think they was talking about it as well. It's nothing new. We've been hearing this for so long. Could this team, if this team had the chance to go back and do the Spider thing, would they do it? I mean, part of me says they would probably think about it, but maybe they were happy with just that situation and not going too far in with that. We don't know if Utah wanted 4 unprotecteds off the Knicks or, 3 unprotecteds and 3 swaps, that kind of thing. But yeah, Spider things in the past, I think they're looking ahead now, to the next big thing. Right, yep. Pudge says Def Raptors or Knicks, right? SGA want the off-court money and the look. Yeah, real talk with that. Yep, he wants a bigger market, man. And OKC is still losing. He's showing out and looking like a star. Yeah, that's for sure, right? He's good because he's skilled enough to hold value, right? JJ, not sure one star is going to take us to another level. It made sense for the Cavs, absolutely. Yep, because they already had a great established team. I don't think we're ready yet, in my opinion, for that type of move, for that situation. Interesting thoughts as well. I think you're on track with that too, JJ. I I think this team's just still trying to push forward. Maybe this next move ain't something that they think is going to take them to a championship or over the top. But I think they're trying to build on a specific timeline, which seems like maybe a 25, 26-year-old kind of thing. With that said, with Brunson as being a big piece, um, you know, and also I think their moves are starting to reflect that. I think they're starting to give these young players more burn to hope that their trade value around the league can also pick up. You know, talking about the Quickleys, trying to get Obi 20 plus minutes, um, trying to get Grimes into that starting unit so he can shine, all of those things, reduce Evan Fournier's role, all of that situation. I think those are the things that's going to help this team, have to put in less picks. I think with that situation, we're going to need our young players to look better, around the league to get this star, deal done in the future. And don't talk to me about Anthony Davis because as good as he can be on some nights, he's not on the right timeline. To me, it ain't even about the deal, and it ain't even about how good he is right now. It's about his age, timeline wise, 30 years old. Another big man as well. I just love for the Knicks to get their next star as a wing. You know, I feel like that can help us out. We see these role playing bigs, they could be picked up, they could be found in the scrap heap or, in the late first round kind of situations, right? The Knicks could find them in the 20s in the draft and things like that, those mobile role playing big men. But I think with Brunson, with RJ, we could pair a nice wing next to those two. Keep Obi hopefully at the four, and then we could start to build something around that. Right, SGA is huge. He could for sure play with Brunson. Yep, he would be a better fit. Absolutely. With that said, complete game, can defend, can score, can shoot, play make. Well, he would be a perfect fit for Toronto. Um, but yeah, best believe the Knicks will be a player. You know, talking about young tradable assets with cost control contracts. Talk about some expiring veterans, D Rose, Fournier, and then talk about the holy grail, the picks. Um, if and so when this team's ready to pull the trigger, they could definitely be in the mix, for any dude. Um, it may not be this season. Maybe we ride it out. Maybe we do something big on draft night as well. So just hang patient, fam. Chat streets out here. I think this season's going to play its course, but maybe the big splash may come on draft night or next season in the summer. With that situation, we've got a lot of parts that need to be evaluated, and in certain situations with Randall's value, with Cam getting a look now. We need to see how quickly Obi and Grimes and RJ, finish out this season. With that, yep, could definitely play with Brunson, says Killer. Yep, look how Trae Young and Murray play off of each other. Yep, it's interesting you say that too. Apparently, statistically, the best lineup so far is one of the best lineups for the Knicks is a quickly next to Brunson. In a small sample size, so playing off of each other, two dynamic guards that can share the rock and relieve pressure off of each other. With that said, Will says if we really wind up with 3 top 20 picks in this year's draft, I might be good not trading for a star. A competent front office can draft 3 starters in this draft with that. Yep. It's going to be very interesting. The draft definitely goes 15 deep in terms of potential all-stars as well. Potential all-stars. And you got to think maybe there's opportunities to move up with 3 top 20 picks as well. So, and that's not even including Detroit's as well. Detroit's is the one, the pick that the Knicks own from Detroit is the one that's most likely not gonna convey and gonna get pushed ahead one more season. However, the Dallas one and the Washington one right now, as it stands, are going to the Knicks, as well as our own pick as well. So that makes the three: Washington, Dallas, and the Knicks' pick as well. I think Detroit's is top 18 protected. So that's definitely going to move forward to the next season. Well, but yeah, wouldn't it be crazy if the Knicks ended up with 4? But who knows, man? They're definitely playing chess with something. The league continues to look at the Knicks and know that that's their move. Wait, wait, wait for who's available, and then swing for that situation. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Trading with OKC, Sam Presti. I don't look forward to that situation, but the way SGA is playing, he's going to command a huge return. But I do think the Toronto Raptors have the pieces definitely to make that happen. If Shea's situation is to want to go back to Toronto, in Canada, with that. Yeah. Dirty says Washington probably has to win play-ins for the pick to convert. With that, yeah, that's interesting situation that we're going to see play out. But whether the Knicks end up with 2 or 3, I think we're in a situation where we've got so many picks, in the coming up soon, that's going to be attractive to a lot of teams. Like some teams that want to trade a star, they don't want picks 5, 6, 7 years in the future. They can't really sell their fan base on that. So what I'm hearing is, if a team's wanting to take the picks from the Knicks, the most attractive thing is that the Knicks picks are current and they're coming up soon, because they're not years ahead in the future. You could make a rebuild really fast with the Knicks' picks if you're talking about 2 or 3 in 1 year and then 2 in the next year and things like that, and swaps, as well as some of the young players as well. Yep. There's also talk about Kevin Durant. Toronto could offer Scotty Barnes, in a Kevin Durant situation, if that ever came to a head. I mean, let's see what Brooklyn's record gets to, because they've really got to pick things up fast. I think we're going to be at the trade deadline, in the blink of an eye, coming up soon. What are we, 12 games in? Another 20, 25, 30 games, and it's time to make some serious decisions for these organizations, right? We've got a generational stack draft. We've got some potential big dominoes like KD. If the Nets are like 5 games under 500, 3 games under 500, right? It's not looking likely that the Nets can contend this season, right? I mean, Ben Simmons, let's be honest, is a shell of himself, right? And if and when Kyrie ever gets back or gets right, I just don't think that's nowhere near enough, right? In this stacked East, there's no way they're beating Milwaukee with that situation. So yeah, I do feel like the Brooklyn situation is going to be crazy. And we all know what KD's like. He's going to be in a situation where he wants out. I think eventually, as well. He's in the back end of his prime, and he wants to make the most of that situation, right? So now let's chop up the Knicks' remaining games coming forward. Let's look ahead now, and let's talk about it. So yeah, we gave out grades. We chopped up the box score. Now let's get into it, to these games coming up. Knicks streets are buzzing. Fam, smash that like button, because the Knicks, it's going to be a popping season still, no matter what. There's plenty at stake for these New York Knicks with these draft picks, with young players. Well, been really pleased with Jalen Brunson. It's been one of the Knicks' best pickups in over a decade. Best believe that. Probably the last 2 decades, if we're keeping it a buck. Where would the Knicks be without Jalen Brunson? He's immediately taken over Randall and RJ as the team's best player, put the team on his back tonight, and he got it done. So um, no crazy surprises. We're at 6-6 now, handling our business against the poor teams, and being in games against good teams, but just not being able to hold it down, and keep control of that thing. So yeah, Khalid is on point. Facts, right? We'd still be mediocre with that. Yeah, maybe a few other players have a couple of breakout games, more usage, but we'd be worse than mediocre, I feel. Yep. With that situation, yeah, you can't be too hyped about this win. Yep, completely agree with you with that. It's basically us handling our business. I look at what I liked within the win, basically tonight, and that's RJ Barrett and Brunson, and Randall being more consistent with these performances. One common trend this season, fam, is that each time that Brunson, RJ, and Randall have all had a decent game, all three of them, the Knicks definitely win with that. So we're tougher to contain with that. So looking ahead, ladies and gentlemen, Oklahoma City, that's going to be tough. MSG, the final game at MSG before this 5-game West Coast trip. And boy, do we need this one heading into that West Coast trip, right? We got to beat Oklahoma City Thunder, and I think it's going to be a great test. It's going to be even bigger test than tonight, right? No doubt about it. OKC punked us in the Garden last time, right? Was it Josh Giddey came in and put up a 28 piece on us? So I mean that was crazy. Um, SGA playing out of his mind for that. They've got some great young talent, some young pieces. That situation. So can the Knicks come in and handle their business again? Right? They need to be fired up and take this one. Right? Cannot let this next one slip because after that, you see it, ladies and gentlemen. Utah, the hottest team in the league right now. The the Cinderella story, the shocking developments of this situation in the off season for the Utah Jazz. Um, I still think it's a bit of a flash in the pan, and I feel like they will come back down to earth eventually. But boy, are the Utah Jazz playing hot right now. Chemistry, flowing, team ball, their feel good vibes. I mean, Danny Ainge has created a monster up in there with that, like this crazy scientist in a lab put together a concoction that created a monster, and he doesn't know how to contain it right now. So that's going to be popping. I'm so looking forward to that Utah clash because we know the spider issues throughout the season, regular off season, and of course it used to be a national game. That's no longer a national game anymore. So that kicks off the West Coast trip in Utah, the hottest team in the league right now. Then we go to Denver, right? A city that we've had no success in for probably the last, I don't know, since I was a baby, probably since I was in diapers. The Knicks won in Utah, right? So you could cash that up as an L with that situation. Salute Parish. OKC destroyed Toronto. I got to peep that. Appreciate that look. Yeah, but yeah, I'm not surprised, right? A lot of these teams have so much talent that can beat any team on any given night. Um, but yeah, we got Denver, then we got Golden State, who aren't playing their best, but we know what kind of challenge that's going to be, no doubt about it. And then Phoenix, I think the Knicks get juiced up usually for the Phoenix matchups, so I'm really looking forward to that. And then OKC again in OKC, so that rounds out the West Coast trip, ladies and gentlemen. And then look at that after that. Look what's waiting for us after the West Coast trip. You know, 2 games in MSG, but against two of the hotter teams in the West as well, Portland and Memphis out here. We know Dame Killer is going to want to come out and show out at the Garden for that Portland MSG game. So, and then hopefully we pay back Memphis for opening night and we get at them with that situation, right? So let's get in some honest predictions for me, looking ahead and being realistic. On the back of what Dirty Dance is saying, I would take 2 wins on the road right now with that situation. That would be a decent result. Facts, right? To say the least. Um, Shaden Sharp looks real nice too. Yep. I was really high on him. Yep. I'm not surprised at all. Athletically, he's just that wing that looks like a future star, no doubt about it. Right? He'll be a great fit for us, for the Knicks. Um, so yeah, Oklahoma at home, right? I got to say the Knicks still take the win. Right? We have to start favorites for that. So let's say a dub there. The Utah one right now. Obviously, my heart is saying a win, my head's saying a loss with that situation. So I'm going to go ahead and say it's going to be really close. That game goes down to the wire in Utah. I think a lot of Knicks players stand up in that game, but we probably fall short, just the way Utah's playing right now. So it's 1-1. Denver's a loss. Golden State's probably a loss. Well, Phoenix could be one of those ones where I probably feel a bit better than the Denver and the Golden State one, to be honest. I think the Phoenix one, we usually play Phoenix really, really well, really tight. Well, so that's a 50-50 game. Could we pull one out there and surprise? And then Oklahoma over there, I've got to say the Knicks at the end of this West Coast trip, they're gassed, they're tired, they're playing on fumes right at that point. I mean, again, my head wants to say we take that one. My heart wants to say we take it. My head's telling me the Knicks are probably going to be really tired. And if we beat Oklahoma in the next game, they're definitely going to want revenge, on the next one. So, yeah, with that said, maybe the Knicks escape with 1-2 wins max on that West Coast trip, right? And then Portland, Memphis, and Detroit as well. So, tough stretch coming up, no doubts about it. The Knicks, it's not going to be their season over or anything at this stretch. This isn't the season defining stretch for me yet. Um, Again, worst case scenario, we're probably 2, 3, 4 games below 500 at the end of this stretch that you see on the screen. At worst, I think maybe 3, 4 games below 500 at worst. I think um, with some easier games coming up after this, we'll chop up as we get through that West Coast trip. But it's definitely going to be a stretch that will show us this team and who steps up, who's going to be the same old, who's going to be like, okay, I'm going to make sure the Knicks win tonight, kind of thing. I have a feel good feeling about Brunson and RJ. On certain nights stepping up. Randall's probably going to have a Randall good game from time to time. But yeah, a fascinating part of that storyline is Quentin Grimes. How soon is it going to be before he's good to play 20, 25 plus minutes as well? Maybe only a couple of games from now, he's going to be ready to go and inserted into that starting unit now on that West Coast trip. So let's see. And clearly there's some room to improve from Quickly, from Derrick Rose. There's going to be some games where they're going to get hot, and step up as well. So the Knicks just need more complete performances from their whole roster. And like I said earlier, nights when Brunson, Randall, and RJ all have a decent game, the Knicks usually have the juice to be in the game and try to win it down the stretch or win it comfortably. Well, and we're going to need every bit of that against OKC, the West Coast teams, and coming back home, in Portland. So yeah, what do you guys see with that situation? B says Nets has the worst West Coast vibe on D and offense. They have a higher motor. We're not even in the middle of the pack. Yeah. With that said, I've been confident in saying that this team won't fall below 500 too much this season. We've got some ballers. We've got some talent on this roster that can cause problems, I think. and pull this team out of a funk. Um, I think the most we'll probably go below 500 is 5, 6 games this season at worst at any point. Well, you know, I'll be I'll be stand corrected if I'm overhyping this team too much, but I do feel like this team has a lot more talent than years past, and I do feel like we'll only go a few games below 500, and we'll start pulling out some wins. Yeah, it's a quintessential 500 team basically right now. We're going to move up and down with that situation. Now that ain't the best thing for people that want Tom Thibodeau gone, in my opinion. Obviously, we need to really look ugly for like 3, 4, 5 games and bad losses in a row. I think for Tom Thibodeau to go. Um, but if I had to make a prediction, I think if Tibbs goes, it's more of an off-season thing. Um, I honestly don't think Leon Rose, this front office, want that bad pub, that bad PR of firing, the coach throughout the season. If you think about it, the worst case scenario is they could just put an edict on Tom Thibodeau, right? Let's say we're at 40, 50, 60 games in and it ain't going the way we want. It's probably easier for them to keep Tom Thibodeau, but just tell him, okay, we need more minutes from this guy. We need more minutes from this guy, and make him feel like his job's a bit more secure, and then let him go in the off season. I think that's the most likely thing. There's obviously a lot of relationships, a lot of business being done between these guys. In years past, there's a lot of trust between them. I don't feel like they want to let Tom Thibodeau go mid-season, right? They might set up some moves in the trade deadline or throughout this season that sets up the next step for this team, and then they'll let Tom go. I think in the summer, and they'll promote or insert the next coach, their next guy. Yeah. And as what's been said a lot is that all front offices usually get one coaching fire as well. So for those wanting Leon Rose gone, for those that want World Wide West and a big shake up, I don't see that happening either mid-season either. I think they've got enough room, enough cachet to have one more off season, firing and one firing of a coach to see, to see what they do, because they're in a better position than Tom Thibodeau. They can turn this thing around. Yes, they've made some poor moves. They've stunk it up. They've dropped the ball with certain things. But with the flexibility we have, the picks available, the tradable parts, well, this front office still has one more lifeline, I feel like, where they can sweep things under the rug and make sweeping changes as well. And they want Tom Thibodeau as a scapegoat, essentially, right? They fire Tom Thibodeau mid-season and they bring someone in, they're setting themselves up to look even worse. If the new guy doesn't look good or it's not panning out, then they run the risk of being let go in the summer themselves as well. So I think they want to prolong things a little. They want to just ride this season out, try to make some moves and get things popping if needed. But I think this team's still headed directly for the play-in. Right, that's going to buy them time, buy them hope with this fan base. Because you just never know. We could become a play-in darling, Cinderella story. Finish ninth and win a play-in game. Then MSG's gets popping. Kind of thing as well. So, yeah, important stretch coming up, but it's not season defining yet. At this point, we're still early in the season. I'm looking for within, who's going to step up on this tough West Coast trip as well. I want to see the same starting unit. I think is going to come out the gate next game. Mitchell Robinson's still out. I think Cam Reddish did enough to stay in the starting unit. I think Isaiah Hartenstein had a great game, was solid tonight. So I think the same starting unit as well. Maybe we see more minutes from Q Dot coming in. Maybe he plays 10, 15 minutes, plays more of Evans minutes coming up. But let's see. Let's see, fam. Before we wrap things up, give us your thoughts on that stretch coming up. Fam, still Dre, salute. Knicks gang, replay gang out here strong. Appreciate you, everyone out here rocking with us. The streets are buzzing, no doubt about it. Pop that like button, and we're going to rock out, ride this out all season long. Got some guests lined up coming through. The games come thick and fast, so it's a tough schedule, getting everything locked in and planned, but best believe we're here, and we're going to continue rocking out and dropping hot content with you all. Dirty says, I don't think they want to piss off the Brunsons by firing Tibbs this early. Great point. Yep. Yeah, definitely, man. I feel you. And, everything within the right timing. Timing is everything, man. Look at all that issues Brooklyn brought upon themselves, They had the chance to trade KD, Kyrie in the offseason, right? The writing was on the wall. We saw it. And what did they do? They brought him into the season. Steve Nash was a lame duck kind of thing. Look at all the bad PR they're getting, right? The Knicks aren't in a crazy ideal situation, but we're not dysfunctional either. So I can understand fans' frustration with this team, that it seems like it may not be going in the right direction where they want it to go, but it could be a hell of a lot worse. We have flexibility still. We have the opportunity to fire Tibbs in the off season if this season doesn't go well. We give him another chance throughout the rest of this season, and then we make our move then. There's no need to bring upon unnecessary dysfunction throughout this season, right? Let these young players play with this coach, rock with them for the season, and then we evaluate. And we evaluate as we go along, right? Now, I don't think Tom Thibodeau is going to let go unless, like I said, we have 6, 7, 8 bad losses in a small stretch where the team lets go of the rope, dysfunction, folly, maybe a fight behind the scenes kind of thing. I mean, hot dysfunction basically is going to get Tom Thibodeau out of here. Now, he doesn't have the full support of the front office. We know that, but he has the full support of Leon Rose. That's the most important dude. Those two have been bros for a long time, way back, with that situation. And again, for those that want the front office gone, that's too early too. James Dolan been doing deals with CAA since most of us were in diapers. And that's not a situation where he's just going to pull the rug from underneath him, that soon, right? So I say this because I just don't want people to get their hopes up as well. And the biggest thing is these changes can happen in the off season as well. The Steve Mills kind of firing was just throughout that season because it was hot. It was a hot mess, and it was dysfunction. That's when they made that move mid-season. Right now, we may not be going the direction people want, but there's no dysfunction right now to make a firing or a front office upheaval. Middle of the season, right? That would cause unrest among free agents. Impressions around the league count. You'd be like, what the hell are the Knicks doing again? Firing peeps? Well, that you got to think about the broader scope of things. Knicks Nation, all of that. Look matters around the league, right? And say what you want, but some players still admire Tom Thibodeau, and they certainly admire stability in the front office, stability with the coach, kind of thing as well. So, with that said, yeah, it will happen if it needs to happen. But if it doesn't need to happen, it'll happen in the summer at earliest. I think with that situation, the Knicks are cruising along. We're 500. We're up and we're down. And we are what we are. We're headed for the play-in right now, unless something drastically changes. We're better than Miami right now. We're better than Philadelphia. I mean, it's way so early in the season to be making bold, sweeping statements and things like that. We're 12 games in as well. So what I do is I'm evaluating as I'm going along, and we see where we're at, whether we underachieve, we overachieve. 45 wins was where I think this team's at. I want to see improvement from the young players and growth so far. Many of them have started slow, so I want to see some more growth. But Obi Toppin's been the big standout from the young players. He looks absolutely ready to be an NBA starter right this moment, right? 31 minutes, 33 minutes. Obi Toppin can be an NBA starter on this team. So that's a big success, for this season so far. We just got to find out the pathway to see how that can happen with that situation, right? Salute Chris from OKC, fam. I see you. I see you, fam. Hope you're well. What are your thoughts on these two OKC games coming up? Fam, are you going to be in the building? Let us know. We'll shout you out with that. Yeah, like Dirty said, if anything that this team's been doing that's consistent, it's been the family ties, the family affair kind of thing, right? I just don't think they're going to wake up one day and want to crack that open, and crack the foundations of the organization so far with that. Credit to James Dolan, he's been staying out the way. He handed the reins over to Leon Rose. Yeah. Leon Rose is the man making all decisions right now. He's listening to dudes' different opinions, and he's keeping it tight. He's keeping it tight within himself right now. But no doubt pressure will mount on him. He didn't get Donovan Mitchell. He's got all these picks. He's got some young players that haven't quite become all-stars yet. So time's still ticking for him as well. So he will be keenly evaluating and ready to make that splash, I think. And I think, honestly, no young player on this team is off limits in the eyes of Leon Rose, right? It was very real talk that RJ Barrett was available, and I don't think nothing's going to change, right? In a superstar deal, RJ's name still has to be probably talked about. It's probably going to be easier for the other team to trade for RJ now that they know his salary too, and they know his extension's locked in as well. So, and if RJ's play starts to improve even more, then it makes it easier for that team to acquire him if needed. Maybe he's not even in the deal, who knows? But yeah, Leon Rose moving ahead this season is definitely eyeing what's going on around this situation, because we look at our roster. I don't think the Knicks' first plan of attack is to make all these draft picks. I think that's more if we were the rebuilding, tanking kind of team situation. I think we're trying to go the other way. We're keeping these picks tight for the right time, the right move, and I think that's going to be Leon Rose's first swing. Damn, yep. Parrish, what are you up to? Salute. We are hurting in creative passing. Our team thinks dribble first. Our bigs are completely neglected. Yeah, I think a lot of that's a product of our system, fam, and our players not being the most highest IQ players with feel for the game. I think, yeah, and that's why I'm really high on Quentin Grimes too. I think his feel for the game is actually one of the highest on this team. When I watch film and I watch it from afar, he has good court awareness and floor awareness as well. What's going on? I see guys like RJ, Quickly, Randall, definitely miss guys at times. Put their head down with that situation. Obviously, Jalen Brunson's still trying to score for this team as well. He could put his head down at times, but I live with that because he's our team's best offensive weapon. Basically, someone's got to put the ball in the cup as well. But yeah, the Tom Thibodeau read and react offense and the system that these guys are in don't help them a lot, I think, because they're forced to make a lot of reads. Whereas, yeah, a more offensive structure, pick and roll kind of, triangle sets and other things like that give this team a bit more structure, in terms of who gets the shots, who's going to get shine and all of that. I think players are just waiting in the corner, dribble handoffs and, and all of that. We don't see enough cutting on this team as well. Forget about talent alone. This team could still be a menace on offense if all guys are cutting and, and moving, player and ball movement together. I think would make this team tough to guard. Yep. But yeah, I completely hear what you're saying, fam. And the chat's been on point all show. It's been a great show, chopping this thing up. Salute, Geraldine. Appreciate you. The chat rocking out with us tonight. Let's get it. Let's definitely get it. But before we do that, We got a super chat from Parish Duggar, the one, the only fam. Appreciate you. Got everything buzzing. Parish salute CT. Hey, Knicks Nation, hit those likes. Let's get it, Parish. Appreciate you. I know you're as passionate as ever, and this team means a lot to you. All of us out here rocking the orange and blue. Let's get it. Bright things ahead for this team, right? We got flexibility. We're not where we want to be right now, but I think there's potential. There's potential to turn things around real quick right now. I don't agree with the narrative we are in purgatory situation, purely for the fact that things just don't seem clear right now, but it can be turned around really quick, right? The Knicks aren't hamstrung with albatross contracts. Yes, there's a couple of contracts that will be tough to move. That's a different. Tough to move and albatross are a different thing. But the Knicks have the draft picks. They have some young pieces on the cost control as well. We have some veterans expiring situation. Leon Rose still needs to pull off the right moves and show us that he can do it and that he's capable of doing it. But if you look around the league, we're not dysfunctional. We've got stability. We've got a front office that has connections, that's close with each other, and they need to pull off something soon because the clock is ticking. But things can be turned around quickly, right? In the blink of an eye in this league, right? So that basically sets things up for us, ladies and gentlemen. We out here ready to wrap this baby up. Salute Knicks Nation. Salute to the chat. You already know what it is. The streets are buzzing. Pop that like button. We'll catch you after the OKC game, matinee, the Garden on Sunday afternoon. We'll be there representing. And Parrish says 6-6 in this NBA while we're trying to get guys going. Is great while we're trying to get guys going. Yep. Just stay in the mix. Yep. And I hear the people looking at the tanking situation as well, because there's Wembanyama, there's Scoot Henderson, and there's some crazy talent. But as of this point in time, it stands, the Knicks have 3 picks in the top 20 right now. 3 picks in the top 20 in a stacked draft. You know, there's worse things in the world and worse situations to be in, right? So let's get it. Keep it locked in. Hope everybody is well. Well, salute to all the veterans out here again. That's the real salute. The salute to those heroes, the service men and women that have given service to their countries. We salute them. We salute the Knicks Nation. The Knicks win tonight in MSG, where the Knicks unveiled the City Edition unis with the Kith drip as well. Going to cop some pieces with that as well. So the Knicks doing some PR work up in here as well. I salute that as well. Now let's get it on the next one. Peace.